Beautiful people, September is still Alopecia Awareness Month, and you may have noticed today I am going a little more natural with my look, and I'm doing that intentionally because in this segment I really want to bring home what it feels like to be somebody with alopecia universalis, and what it feels like to have any stage of the disease. So I want you to just take a minute and imagine what it would feel like to go from looking like this to looking like this over a very rapid period of time, because I lost all of my hair in a matter of months. And I think you'll pretty quickly realize that this disease is not just about hair. It has devastating effects on our psychological, emotional, and social well-being, because it really is almost like losing a part of your identity and then having to sort of reform that in your own brain, and come to terms with it. The best way that I have been able to describe the beginning of my journey with alopecia is it felt like a nightmare that I woke up to every day, because it really was one of the most surreal experiences I have ever had in my life, as you can imagine. So now I want you to imagine the millions of kids out there who have alopecia, and think about, I mean, I don't know about you, maybe you were super cool and like never had an awkward moment in your life, but I was a fantastically awkward kid, and middle school was not kind to me. So just imagine when you're trying to negotiate, trying to be cool and make friends and deal with these surges of hormones as you're going through puberty and all this stuff. And on top of that, having to deal with either the secret of knowing you've got bald spots on your head and trying to hide it, or if you're to the point where you can't hide it anymore, having people look at you, having your peers look at you in a different way when all you really want to do is fit in. And I think you'll realize that's an incredibly challenging thing that these kids have to go through. And that is the main reason that I am pushing so hard for you guys to donate to the National Alopecia Areata Foundation, because they do so many awesome things for these kids. So let's say right now you were to donate $5 and 10 of your friends did that. That's $50. $50 would pair one of these kids with a mentor who has alopecia, who is there for them, one-on-one, to call them, to take them out, whatever they need, to be with them and support them through not the physical manifestations of the disease, but what goes on up here and right here. And I think it's $250 can bring one of those kids to a conference where they get to be around a ton of other kids just like them. And I have to say, for me personally, I'm gonna try not to cry. For me personally, going to the NAF conference, it was like taking a breath, a real breath, for the first time in a long time, because all of a sudden there were all these people around me who knew exactly what I was going through. And I'm really working on keeping it together. Alopecia can be an incredibly lonely disease. And so it is an incredible gift to be able to connect with other people who have experienced what you have experienced and can be there for you. I have to say, one of the perks to doing this video without eye makeup and eyebrows is I don't have to worry about looking like a raccoon. Bonus. So it's no wonder that anxiety and depression are extremely prevalent comorbidities with alopecia areata, because in addition to just dealing with this whole identity crisis thing that I'm trying to describe, you also have to deal with the outside world and how they relate to you, because that changes completely. And if you're not used to walking around and getting smacked in the face with other people's pity, it's kind of a rude awakening, and it is challenging, to say the least, to deal with. And I had a lot of anxiety about going out, because when my hair fell out, I decided just to face it head on, pun intended. And I just went out bald until I was really, really comfortable with that. And that produced a huge amount of anxiety in me, because every time I went out, I didn't know what other people were going to say to me. One of the worst situations, I was visiting my family in Colorado, and I was pregnant with my third child. And this was, let me see, November, December. This was 7 or 8 months after my hair started falling out, and I was completely bald. And I'm in the parking lot at the grocery store, and a woman walks up to me and asks me if my baby is going to be okay. And she took my breath away. I just didn't even know what to say. And if you're gonna go out bald in the world, you have to be prepared for that at all times. You have to sort of have this invisible armor and be prepared for whatever people are gonna say to you. And at the same time, you also have to try to soften your heart and be open to their experience of you, so that you can actually you can help turn it into a positive interaction for both of you, and hopefully you can educate them a little bit. So I'm going to try to keep this video short and sweet, but I do encourage you to really consider donating. Seriously, $5 to NAF, that'd be incredible. If you like to go and have your dark roasted Starbucks coffee, it's not very good anyway, you could skip that and brew a cup of coffee at home, and you wouldn't even miss that $5, you know. You just would have a slightly different cup of coffee, and you would be helping these amazing, beautiful little human beings who, if you could see them, they're so incredible. They just break your heart into a million pieces and like knit it back together all in the same instant, because they're so wonderful. So please consider donating to NAF right now, because they're fantastic. And when you do good things for other people, it makes you feel super good too. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a beautiful, amazing day. And I'll be back with another segment soon.